Hello, and welcome back to another video on Time Gaming. And in today's theory, I'm going to be explaining what the Tiger Rock Plush from the new Help Wanted 2 update means. So without further ado, let's begin with the theory. You see, after the release of the Help Wanted 2 update, fewer and fewer people were talking about the Tiger Rock Plush, as after the update it seemed less significant. And most of the time, when people did talk about it, it was to say that the Tales from the Pizzaplex books are now canon. And while I do believe that is one of the reasons why we have the Tiger Rock plush, I believe that there is another reason too. With the Tiger Rock plush confirming that the Tales from the Pizzaplex novels are canon to the games, we know that the story where Edwin created the Mimic is also canon. And also the story where Edwin's son, David, gets killed by a car. You see, Edwin originally created the Mimic to play with his son, David, while he worked on the animatronics for Fazbear Entertainment. Tragically, one morning, while Edwin was making breakfast, David snuck out of the factory where Edwin worked and got hit by a car. For 2 weeks, Edwin is completely out of it because of the death of his son. When he does come back around to his senses, he's so angry and upset about the death of his son that he takes a tool and beats the Mimic as hard as he can, damaging the Mimic pretty badly. Now, it's assumed that after Edwin beat the Mimic was possessed with Edwin's agony. And while I do believe this to be a very likely possibility, however, I have another idea that might also explain it, and it involves Help Wanted 2 itself before the update. You see, in Help Wanted 2, all of the other plushes given to us by Glitchtrap are brown plushes with masks strapped to the plushie, and each of these masks correlates to one of the animatronics from FNAF 1. And you see, in Help Wanted 2, when you're in Princess Quest 4, you light the tombstones, and each tombstone has one of these plushies, which seems to signify that these plushies were actually meant to represent the spirits of the kids possessing the FNAF 1 animatronics. If the other plushies in Help Wanted 2 were to represent spirits, then why would the Tiger plush be any different? Well, what kid do we know that the Tiger Rock plush is associated with? Well, there is only one person or kid that I know of, and I'm pretty sure that all of you know of, that is associated with Tiger Rock, and that is David, Edwin's son who was killed by the car. Because, you see, Edwin always carried around a white tiger plush, just like the one we see in Help Wanted 2, and just like Tiger Rock from the Tales from the Pizzaplex novels. But you know who else is associated with the Tiger Rock plush? That's right, our good old friend, the Mimic. You see, one time when David was playing with the Mimic, he wanted the Mimic to have its own white tiger plush so that they could play together. But since he and his father were poor, he decided to make a makeshift one from different materials lying around the warehouse that they were staying in to make a makeshift white tiger plush for the Mimic to play with. And not only that, but later on in the Pizzaplex, a giant Tiger Rock animatronic is made to control the entire Pizzaplex just to get rid of the creation team from Fazbear Entertainment, just so as to cut their salaries from costs. And you guess what program they used to make the Tiger Rock animatronic? That's right, the Mimic 01 program, meaning that Tiger Rock was likely more closely linked to the Mimic than any other animatronic in the Pizzaplex. However, going back to the Tiger Rock plush from Help Wanted 2, what does it mean? Well, I think that this means that David's spirit is still alive. And how is he alive? Well, I believe that David's spirit is possessing the Mimic. Yes, you heard me right. David's spirit is possessing the Mimic. You see, I believe that David's spirit / remnant, well, maybe not remnant, David's spirit and Edwin's agony are combined together in the same animatronic to create one monstrous creature. I don't think agony alone can do what the Mimic does, as the Mimic does seem to be able to have some sort of higher thinking power. And I believe if something possessed with just agony probably wouldn't have this trait alone. It does seem to have some intelligence as it's able to outsmart humans. So David's spirit would, being in the Mimic animatronic, would make perfect sense. Now you might be saying, well, David was never a bad kid, so why is he doing this? Well, I believe that Edwin's agony is not only possessing the Mimic, but it's also possessing David's spirit. It's manipulating and corrupting David's spirit to turn him into an evil one. I believe that if David's spirit alone was in the Mimic, it would likely be a passive animatronic. But of course, he's not. So I believe that Edwin's agony not only fused with the Mimic, but also fused with David's spirit to corrupt David's spirit and turn him into an evil, vengeful spirit. And that, my friends, is what I believe the Tiger Rock plush to be from the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 update. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, then please go to like, and as always, subscribe. That really helps. Also, you know what also really helps? Checking out other videos on my channel, because I do need watch time. So, watching videos from my channel also really helps. And also, as well, I think you should check out my most recent theory before this one. My theory where I cover how Ruin's most obscure character solves Glitch Trap in the Mimic 01 program. I think that that is a very interesting theory. It is my biggest theory and it is a very interesting theory, and I think you guys should go watch it after this one if you like this theory. But anyways, also feel free to comment your thoughts down below, and bye bye for now.